So many keys on this list of trending books. Hit the subscribe button. We've been doing this video for nearly 6 years straight without skipping a beat.
Number 10 on the list, Web of Spider-Man. Number 1, the 1 in 25 Paco Medina variant. We are seeing $40 average sales and a raw high pre-sale of $65. This is a great cover with multiple of your favorite Spider characters on there. We got Spider-Gwen, we got Spider-Woman. Hey, there's even 2 Ben Reilly showing up.
Yeah, you got the sweater version of Ben Reilly, and then you got the more modern Chasm version of Ben Reilly hanging out in the background of this cover, which I found pretty interesting. This is kind of like a Spider-Man version of like the timeless books that Marvel have been doing, where it's kind of just, here's a bunch of different Spider stories related to all the different Spider titles that we have, and to kind of give you a little tease of what's coming in the next year. So this is a thicker book. It's a little more expensive. There's a lot of really cool open to order covers, however. So I think this 1 in 25 variant might not be that hard to find when you consider that there's like 3 pretty solid open to order covers that you can probably find at your shops too.
Greg Capullo's variant is absolutely stunning. I think he's really onto something with all these webs on the cover. I'm getting some like Patrick Gleason Spider-Man 55 vibes here. Potential that he can do this with other Spidey characters, and I hope he does. But look at this Alex Maleev cover, and he's got Peter Parker demasked. That's a statement right there. He did not shy away from doing something a bit more difficult.
And there's also a pretty cool Greg Land variant that's got Spider-Man versus Chasm right there on the front too. So you've got options if you can't get a copy of this 1 in 25. But yeah, it's worth picking up if you're trying to figure out what the hell's going to happen in Spider-Man books.
And I know when we said Web of Spider-Man 1, you thought of another cover, and guess what? That book, third solo series, is actually on the Trending 20, the larger list we source these 10 comic books from every single week. And it's found on Key Collector Comics. Utilize code TOM101. You unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app in its entirety. But as much as like 98% plus of the app is free to catalog your comics, learn about funny books, and get suggested pricing and so much more. Support the show and enhance the comic hunt.
Number 9 on the list, X-Men Adventures. Number 1, we are seeing $18 average sales and a high 9.8 sale of $245. This book spiked to a 132% increase this week because we got the first 2 episodes of the X-Men 97 show out, and from here on out, we should be seeing them weekly.
I've kind of been the guy on this channel who doesn't watch new stuff as it comes out, so I made a point to sit down and watch these 2 last night, actually. And
dude, you walked in and you were raving. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? It was crazy.
I don't like X-Men. I'm just going to come out and say it, and this show is amazing. Like, I was kind of blown away by how much I loved these 2 episodes. It threw you right back into the cartoon, right? I grew up watching this cartoon. I haven't really seen it since I was a little kid. I didn't do any sort of prep or recapping. You can jump into X-Men 97 just totally cold and still get a good sense of what's going on.
This right here is an awesome key. I always thought it was underappreciated. Seeing it go for the $20 to $30 marker for a high-grade copy seems super low still to this day. And the heights it reached was $487 back in 2022 when the hype for this series really started, you know, with the announcements, etc. And you can get a 9.8 for $170 right now, which is still down from its recent 12-month high of over $180. This book seems like a great buy despite anything that's happening on Disney+, which in the last 3 years, we couldn't say that about virtually any comic book at this table.
I did have that feeling when I was watching the show last night too, that like this hits harder because there is nothing in the MCU this year, really, other than Deadpool, right? And this isn't MCU specific, but like getting a new Marvel thing, it feels a little more fresh than it did in years past, so it's exciting.
And I expect this next book is on the list because of the same series. At number 8, we have X-Men 221, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. And I also want to throw out there, Javier Bardem, rumors?
Listen al Gaib!
It could happen. He was just in Dune 2. You watched that this last week, and it was so damn good, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I stayed up way late watching that. Way too late watching that. I had an experience. It was good.
Not enough Florence Pugh, but I digress because we're talking about a kids cartoon. It felt like Saturday morning cartoons again, guys. And I think the community is really vibing with it because clearly, if you stayed through 2 episodes, light spoilers, but everyone knew Mr. Sinister was coming.
This book is so perpetually relevant. It's been one of those keys that we have been talking about for years. So when I tell you $75 average sales and a recent high of $295, that's super low. This book hit almost 1,000. There was a record high of $929 back in May of 2021. This has been one of those books that we've had a lot of Mr. Sinister rumors. This is one of those books that a lot of people love and have been looking for a very long time. I really think this is the lowest this book's going to be, and it's crazy that we only saw 171% increase in copies sold.
This is another example of the market settling so low that despite spec and people trying to invest and make a quick flip happening, because that's indeed happening, there's people who are being reminded of these keys and looking at the prices, realizing that now may be the best time.
We're here at number 7, and we've got more X-Men stuff. However, this one is not tied to X-Men 97. We're here with NYX, issue number 3 from 2004, the first appearance of X-23, Laura Kinney herself. We've got 233% increase in copies sold compared to last week. I think this is probably because we did get a very small confirmation last week at the reveal of all the new X-Men titles that are coming out. At the bottom of that big image, there's a little tiny thing that says NYX. That'll be coming soon as well. It's not one of the big, new relaunched titles quite yet. I think it's further down the line, but, I kind of tie that to perhaps seeing this character appearing in Deadpool 3. That's my opinion.
Yeah, there's no Dazzler on that list, but Marvel definitely knows what they're doing. They're like planning things out for the release so that if people see the movie, maybe they want to go get some comics. Oh, and there's a new ongoing comic. Perfect time to jump on board. This book is hitting $450 for an average sale, and a 9.8 hit $14.90. This book was averaging closer to the $1,100 marker, so this right here shows that people are speccing on this book, likely for Deadpool 3, and Marvel just put them over the edge.
Number 6 on the list, the first DC entry, and it could not be a better one. Strange Adventures number 205, first appearance of Boston Brand Deadman. I love this book. I love this Neil Adams cover. And $1.2 thousand average sales when you take it in all grades, but really there was a recent sale of a CGC 6.5 Heritage Auctions, $384. These can be affordable, and this is a major key.
An increase of 120% this week after James Gunn posted an image of Deadman. And this isn't just any image. This is actually a cover of a comic book from the New 52. So not only does this mean that there's likely something going on with Deadman, but there's other characters to spec on, and he added no captions.
We've seen him do this before. Last year, he posted like a random shot of Metamorpho, and wouldn't you know it, Metamorpho is going to be in Superman, and Mr. Terrific. He's done this before, so more likely than not, we're probably just going to get a Deadman casting announcement here pretty soon. But like Tom mentioned, this image here is the cover from DC Universe Presents issue number 2 from the New 52. This was like an anthology book where they would put in a bunch of characters who they didn't think could necessarily sustain their own series. And the whole first arc of this run was about Deadman, but you had other characters throughout that run later in the line. So we're likely just going to get a Deadman casting announcement, but if James Gunn's feeling real sneaky, this could be some sort of low-key tease for some sort of anthology, something happening later.
Now, this is just a hop and a skip away from Justice League Dark if we end up having a few more of these characters. Please keep in mind that Boston Brand was actually in the Justice League Dark animated movie and played quite well by Nick Turturro.
I have a gift for you guys. We're releasing this on the website, comic-con101.store. This is a plug, but it's also a gift. One for you and one for you. We have TMNT The Last Ronin, number 2, issue number 1.
Ooh, by my friend Johnny Desjardins. I love these.
He is back doing his knife palette technique, and we have a new turtle on the brand new run on an oversized issue. Thanks, IDW, but it looks glorious with how large the image is.
Oh, absolutely. This is beautiful, and you get to see all of the detail. And Johnny puts an astounding amount of detail when you actually see how life-size his photos are. I mean, really, the paintings are 24 by 36, and even on a comic this size, this hardly does it justice.
Yeah, I'm spoiled. Tom has a few original Johnny pieces hanging up in his place, and this is bigger than a normal comic, but it's not that big. I really want to see the original of this. I actually quite like this. I want to open it and read it.
Johnny literally makes this with a palette knife, line by line. It's painstaking. It takes him a long time to do this. I've even seen him do it with like a cut-up aluminum can to get those really fine lines. It's essentially a mosaic of lines that makes this giant piece to form this image. ComicTom101.store, link in the description to pick up your limited to only 500 Last Ronin 2, issue number 1.
We're at number 5. This has been a Marvel-heavy list, but we do have another DC book on deck for you right here, and there's a pretty clear reason why. This is Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44 from 1984. We're seeing $75 average sales, and we did see a 9.8 go earlier this month for $340.
This book is selling way too cheap. Someone got one for like a little over $300. This is the first appearance of freaking Nightwing and the origin of Deathstroke. What's going on, dude?
Tom, this book is less than half of what you'd expect to pay for this book. I mean, really, the Nightwing key is major. Origin of Jericho, Origin of Deathstroke. Like, this is a really big book. I also, this book makes me chuckle because every single time I'm like doing my New Teen Titans run, you always have to remember that it's Teen Titans, then New Teen Titans, then Tales of the New Teen Titans. So there are people that will just collate these wrong, and they'll miss that issue number 44 is a really big key.
Now, obviously, this book is here on the list because we did hear this week that they are working on a live-action Titans movie over at DC, but I wanted to give a special shout-out to Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing, which has been the most consistent and amazing DC comic of the last few years. He is just about to start the final arc on his run with Bruno Redondo. If for some reason you have not checked out the modern run on Nightwing by Tom Taylor, go do it right now because it's about to be over, and I'm really going to miss it.
I've been buying all the trades as they come out because reading them as a single copy isn't enough. I want to read it all consecutively, and I will read the whole run again because the art alone is captivating, but the writing is so stellar. It's one of the best superhero books of the last 5 years. And this right here is a big moment for the character. And hearing the live action rumors has only pushed this book up. And it's so cheap and it's so dope. Keep an eye out on this.
It's 109% increase in copies sold this week, and we're not done with the Titans quite yet, but just to be super confusing, number 4 on the list, New Teen Titans number 1, which is technically the same volume as the Tales of the Teen Titans number 44. But really, Teen Titans needed a little bit of love, guys.
All right, this is going for $40 averages, $330 for a CGC 9.8 for all the same reasons we discussed, and an increase of copies sold of 575% on a book that you can get last sale for $250 for a 9.8. And the only thing I need to say, George Perez. Do I have to say anything else?
We did just talk about it. They're probably making a Titans movie as we speak. They're obviously going to use this storyline as influence. I would go check out the current run on Titans in DC Comics. Tom Taylor, we just got done talking about him. Even though his Nightwing run's about to wrap up, he'll still be writing Nightwing in the pages of Titans. They actually just got done with their first ever line-wide crossover event, Beast World. Titans are kind of, it makes sense, actually, seeing their kind of raised profile in the comic books.
Which brings us to number 3 on the list, and I haven't been this excited about Star Wars probably ever. We have Star Wars, The High Republic, issue number 5, the first appearance in full of Sinistra Row.
I want to call you out because we watched the trailer out there
Don't
a few
even
minutes ago.
say it. I feel ashamed.
Tom like heard a line in the trailer and he paused it and he's like, "Oh, that's what Obi-Wan said in the first movie." And I kind of like patted him on the shoulder. I was like, "Yeah, I've trained you well, my young Padawan." And he's becoming a Star Wars nerd right in front of our eyes. Look at him.
This show is corrupting me. But this book is going for $8 averages, 90 for a CGC 9.8. This isn't the first time this book spiked up. I mean, the 12-month average has been around $50 though. So seeing it go for nearly double is because of the Acolyte trailer, which looks incredible. Like, I think the thing missing in most Star Wars is more lightsabers, really, just more Jedi. And so much of the narratives we follow and know, the Jedi are gone, you know? It's like the Clone Wars happened, you know? Order 66. Like, I know so much about Star Wars now.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. But yeah, no, Sinistra Row, man. Rebecca Henderson is going to play her. We got a small glimpse of Sinistra Row in the Acolyte trailer this week. But again, I'm still riding high on Dune Part 2.
Dude, she was so good in Dune.
She was so cool in that
Best
movie.
character besides Florence Pugh?
Sure. I still got to process all that. But she was really good on a whole nother level. And it just clicked for me that she is going to be in this Acolyte series as well, alongside Carrie-Anne Moss and a whole bunch of other people that have me really excited. Daphne Keene's going to be in this too. We were talking about Laura Kinney and X-23 earlier. It's all connected.
But dude, she's going to be Sinistra Row. She's green. You see her, I think, in the trailer for like half a second.
There's a lot happening in that trailer, but we've talked about this book before. It was in September last when we started to we've been hearing rumblings about the show for a long time, and this trailer kind of came out of nowhere earlier this week, exciting us specifically, but I think a lot more people.
An increase in copies sold of 600% over the last 7 days, yeah, but the book started moving when the trailer hit, which only happened days ago. That is so many books moving in such a short amount of time. And if you want to join the community and support the show directly, we've been doing it for 6 years, go to comictom101.com and support the mystery mail call. We're going to send you some dope comics every month, but this month, we got some bangers. Jackpot and Black Cat, Dan Panosian, Peter Parker's hitting the double jackpot with Black Cat and Mary Jane on the cover. You're guaranteed that, one per box.
That's not all. The other book we have, the other one per box exclusive, is also by Dan Panosian. It's on the new Deadpool #1 by Cody Ziegler that's coming out very soon because it's going to be in the next mail call. It comes out next month. We're relaunching Deadpool over at Marvel, and we have a Dan Panosian variant for you. It matches the other Dan Panosian variant going in the box, so if you want to get both of those, all you have to do is go to ComicTom101.com.
That's an ASM 300 homage.
It's dark. It's gritty. It's a different kind of Spider-Man. Number 2 on the list, Spider-Man Noir, number 1. $180 average sales and a high 9.8 for $440. Don't forget about that newsstand. We had a $920 sale for newsstand. Why are we talking about this character? Because after many, many, many months of there being rumors that Nicolas Cage could portray his character that he was the voice in the Edge of Spider-Verse animated movie, Nicolas Cage actually came out and pretty much confirmed it. We have quite a few media outlets reporting that we're almost certain that Nicolas Cage is going to be doing a live-action Spider-Man Noir.
We have been talking. It's no secret that I love the character.
A 700% increase in copies sold after Nicolas Cage talked about the confirmed live action that's heading to Amazon featuring Spider-Man Noir and talking about the character and how much he likes it. And you got to hit the like button for Russ. That was a pretty decent Nick Cage impression.
Well, I can say that we've been talking. It's no secret that I love the character. I think the character provides another mashup of sorts. I can combine my favorite Golden Age performances, i.e. Robinson, Cagney, Bogart, with a character that is, I guess, widely considered to be Stan Lee's masterpiece. But nothing's definitive yet. It's just conversation.
Which brings us to the number 1 hottest trending book in the world. And it's a repeat offender. It ranked at number 9 last week and has propelled its way to the number 1 slot this week. And it's all because of Disney+. It's all because of X-Men 97. Number 1 on the list, X-Men 200, Magneto.
Buckle in for this number. We have a 1,086% increase in copies sold of this book compared to last week. And once you watch X-Men 97, it will make sense. It's called Trial of Magneto, this storyline. It says right on the cover. They actually slip it right into the show as well. You see Magneto's trial play out on the news. There's a little banner at the bottom that says Trial of Magneto. It's a nice little wink and a nod. He's dressed the exact same way, which we talked about last week. It's just a cool show. You gotta watch it. Like, Magneto, I think, was always my favorite mutant, but definitely after these 2 episodes, I'm locked in.
Magneto's running the school. He's leading the X-Men team, and we have a full nostalgia cycle happening for people like me who grew up watching this show as a kid, who ran around throwing playing cards pretending they were Gambit. We have $20 average sales, 9.8 clocked in at $159. This book sold for under $90 at a 9.8 all year long.
I think the most important part, too, as one of those fellow 90s nostalgia kids like Tom was mentioning, yeah, it works on a nostalgia level, but I think it works as a brand new show, which is, I think, the most important part. You don't have to have watched any of the old 90s stuff to enjoy this cartoon.
So this is a minor key. This is where Magneto becomes headmaster of Xavier's Academy. And it's from an era of X-Men books that are highly overproduced. I cannot tell you how many times I've had this collection come in where you get issue number 200, 201, 202. All of this has been purchased because it was the best read back when this book came out, and a lot of people collected these. So the price is up, demand is up. Long term, will we see more demand? I probably wouldn't go crazy on this book, but if you need a copy, it's still really affordable, and it's a great read.
What do you think about X-Men 97? Keep the spoilers light. What do you think about Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir?
What do you think about Russ as Nick Cage?
And, as always,
Geek responsibly.
Enough said.